Hello guys, we're back here. I'm supposed to do the intro, so oh no,
go again.
Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome back to Banter with
NJ,
the one and only NJ on YouTube, hopefully.
Emperor, the Conqueror,
whatever is here. Yes, she is here, and today we're here to have a little chit chat.
Yep. You guys know that Chioma is a mom of 4, right?
Yes.
And honestly, Chioma, I wanted to say the best mom, but some people will bite off my head. Chioma is one of the best moms I've ever met. Not because she's my sister. I'm not saying this because she's my sister.
Oh.
But Chioma is a people manager.
Oh.
Conflict resolver. God. I learn so much from Chioma all the time. Like sometimes when I come here, I can't wait to get back to Nigeria and try it on the children.
Oh my goodness.
That's how bad it is. You know, Chioma is so good at parenting. I'm telling you the truth.
When you said at 12,
like sometimes the way she resolves conflict, I'm like, I already have conversation. How that conflict will go on for another 10 minutes. Chioma will just resolve it in 5 seconds.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
And I'm like, how does she do that? It's like a superpower. She has it. So yeah, today's video, Chioma is just going to, basically be giving us parenting advice, because I know parenting is not easy. It's not a one-man job.
It's not easy for me too.
Yeah. So we take the help,
Yeah.
Whatever help.
A lot of people send me messages on Instagram asking me, like, trying to get ideas on what to do on several situations.
Yeah.
And which is surprising to me, because I don't know how much I know, but I'm here to share the little I know. And
and her kids are so respectful. People come here and then they tell Chioma, see, I can't believe how respectful your kids are. My 7-year-old doesn't even listen to me.
They don't want to die. They don't want to. They have to respect.
Okay, so like, how did you get here, Chioma? Like, in a situation where your kids talk back at you, are disrespectful, what do you do? How do you handle it? Because in Nigeria, we know how to handle it. And they will respect themselves next time. Well, seeing that you're here, you can't exactly use our traditional means,
No.
So, what do you do?
Okay, so when they talk back at me, I don't know if that would happen, but I think Zena tried it one time. She tried it once, and I promise it's not going to happen again. And she didn't see that sucking that back at me. She saw it as defending herself.
That's what they always see it as. I remember.
I had a tomato in my hand. I threw it at her. But anyway, I think with kids, we'll have to remember they're kids.
Yeah.
So when Zena talked back at me, you can imagine the Nigerian mom in me. I wanted to, my child. But after all the yelling, which I yelled tremendously, I had to sit her down. We always have that time where after every chaos, we sit down and we talk about what just happened. Yeah. And I explained to her what made me really upset. Yeah. And the way she would have handled the situation better. Yeah. So I have to give her I can't just tell her, don't do this. Yeah. I have to tell her what to do when she was upset, or when she felt like what I was saying didn't go exactly with what she wanted. I had to tell her how to react, wait for me to talk. Yeah. When I finish, then you can explain to me. Because I always ask them, okay, so what are you going to say? Then that's her time to tell me what she thought. Yeah. And not talking while I'm talking. So I had to sit her down and give her that lecture on how to behave. Yeah, so we always sit down and we talk about what happened. Okay. And then, of course, when I'm telling her that, she starts to cry and she'll apologize. And I'm like, I wouldn't talk that way to my mom. And, do better. Yeah. And that always helps. Okay. I always have to tell them. We talk about it, and I tell them how to handle the situation better. So always give them something to fall back on. Yeah. Not just saying, don't do this. Don't hit your sister. True. Okay, don't hit your sister. If your sister does this is what you should do. Yeah. So they know what to do. Because sometimes they don't know what to do.
True, because they're kids.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. So you just have to tell them. Okay. And that always helps.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so how do you get them to do chores, make their room and, stuff, help out around the house and stuff like that? Because, kids, they just want to watch TV or whatever.
Yeah, they watch TV a lot. They read. They do chores. They try to do as much as they can do. They clean their homes even though it's not perfect. But I just have to encourage them. I've tried everything. I've tried so many things. We've done rewards. I pay them. I give them their allowance every week, which some weeks doesn't happen. But just those little, kids love rewards.
Yes, they do.
Every child. I love rewards. I mean, I would lose more weight if somebody gave me a reward. But kids love rewards, so just give them rewards, and you have to follow through. Yeah. If you promise them $5 a week, if your room is clean you have to give them that $5 at the end of the week. But whatever you promise, or sometimes I promise them I'm going to take them out. So you just constantly reminding them and kind of rewarding them for good behavior.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so academic-wise, how do you get them to, be focused on schoolwork and do good? And because we know in this household, a B is not good enough.
No, it's a fail.
It has to be an A.
A B is a fail.
Like all her kids get A's from first to the last. How do you do that?
Right from when they're small. You don't wait until they're big to set that high standards for them. Like EJ is 6, and he already knows. We can fail. We can't get a 21/22. We get a 21/22, we have to sit down and we have to talk about what you got wrong, why you got it wrong, and know if you learned it. Yeah. So we have to start from when they're really young to set the high standards for them. Yeah. You just don't let them get away with it, and all of a sudden in middle school, you're telling them you're not getting A's. True. And of course, it takes a lot of hard work too on the parents. You have to sit down with them, study with them, teach them what they don't know, create an environment where they're open enough to tell you, oh, Mom, I don't understand this. Yeah. And I tell them, when they fail in school because they don't understand, it's acceptable. Yeah. I'll teach them. Yeah. But when you fail something you already know, something I know that you know, that's where the problem comes. There's no kind of threat of having this. But when they don't know it, I don't get mad at them because they don't know it. So I'm like, okay, I'll teach you. We'll get tutors. We do all that. Yeah. So you just have to start early to set that high standards for them, so they know it's not okay to fail. They know that they have to concentrate during school, during class. Because if I get an email from your teacher that something is going wrong, just you understand.
Okay, so you know how some parents, they don't like to take their kids out and stuff like that because kids, some of them don't behave nicely outside. So how do you get your kids to behave outside? Like when you take them out, you tell them sit, they're sitting, they have to come to you, take permission for certain things. How do you do that?
It starts at home. It starts at home. So whatever that, you can't expect them to behave a certain way at home, and then when you go out, you want them to act like angels. It's not going to work. You're going to be frustrated. So it starts at home. It starts from, I tell you, before you watch YouTube, you have to ask. Yeah. So before they watch YouTube, they'll ask, Mom, can we watch YouTube? True. What are we watching? I have to know what they're watching on YouTube because there's a lot of junk on YouTube. And so they learn to be disciplined that way. Yeah. So when we go out, the same thing happens. You sit down, you do this, and they follow. But it has to start at home. Yeah. They can't be misbehaving at home, and you want them to behave nicely when they go to your friend's house. They're going to embarrass you. Yeah. So everything starts at home.
Okay. It makes sense. Yeah. And in this household, you have control of their devices, right? Chioma locks everything, all the apps. And when, like Zena, if she needs to use an app, she has to come to Chioma and say, oh, Mom, please, can you unlock this app for me for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes? Yeah. So can you just tell us, why do you do that? Chioma used to be like a Samsung lover, but she had to switch to Apple, because of this. So why do you do that?
There's so much rubbish, junk, terrible things on social media. And some of these apps don't have control. Like the kids can get on there and watch whatever. And your kids are learning things that you didn't even know as a teenager. So, and then a lot of bullying and things happen. I mean, we know things that happen on social media. True. So I created an environment where there's a lot of control over that. Yeah. I have to know what they're watching. Like in Netflix, they have their own kids' Netflix, and I go through it. I have to monitor it. I don't just let them control it. Like even Ziana at her age, she still doesn't watch the adult Netflix. She has her kids thing, which she's frustrated about. Yep. But I'm like, yeah, girl, you're as tall as me, but you're still 11 years old. Yeah. We have to keep your mindset at that level. Yeah. So I changed to Apple because it was time for Ziana to get a phone. And I just couldn't help it. Like, how am I supposed to know what my child is doing? How can I have control over how much time? And the only way to do that, from here and from abroad, no matter where I am in the world, I can control her phone. Yeah. So I switched to Apple because of her, and I just lock up everything. I set a timer for her apps, for everything that she's doing. If she needs to Google, her Google is not even unlocked on her phone, it's locked. True. Because we can Google any rubbish. True. True. So I have to unlock Google and unlock the website that she goes to for 15 minutes or for whatever time she needs it for. If she wants to do a project, I have to unlock it for something I know. But you just have to control it because it's not we can't be in, I don't know, we can't have control over everything, but we can at least control the much we can to keep our kids as innocent as we can have them for a longer time. Yeah, so they don't like it, by the way. It's not fun for them, but
okay. This next final question is kind of like 2 questions in one. Okay. So your kids, the one thing that stands out about them is how independent they are and also how respectful they are. They never forget to say their thank yous and their greetings and their please and you're welcome, things like that. So how were you able to create that imbibe that kind of, habit in them, because we know that kids, a lot of kids, they don't even greet. And they feel so entitled. They don't say thank you for anything you do for them. But your kids, they are so independent and they're also so respectful. So how were you able to get them to be that independent and that respectful?
Well,
even to kids.
The independence, we moms, mostly it's the moms, we want to do everything for our kids. We keep doing it. But this mom here, I like to take a break. And I know the only way I can get a break is if I can actually teach them to do those little things they can do for themselves. So I'm not supposed to tie shoelaces. I mean, for the longest time, I'm getting older. So I have to start teaching them, even to take a bath. Some kids at 9, the parents are still giving them a bath, giving them, well, good for you. But for me, I don't want to keep doing that. My knees were so black at some point because I have to kneel down to get to their level to give. I did that for so many years. So from 5 years old, actually, I started letting them give themselves a bath. But I'll be there. But when I'm giving, it takes more time. And most of the times we're in a hurry. So we're kind of, rushing. You do it and you just, but I stay, I let them give themselves a bath. They scrub, they make a mess. Then I scrub them. And I encourage them. And we keep doing that. We do that every night. EJ is 6 years old. And he can give himself. He will scrub himself right now. And I used to do everything. I used to smell their poo-poo. When they finish, I come, we did not wash this floor. And they're like, Mom. But yes, we did all that. So now next time they want to scrub it real hard so that when mommy goes, puts her nose in there, it smells good. I know, crazy, right? But there's nothing I didn't do. So little things like that. I just let them do the things. And no, kids actually want to do things for themselves. The only problem is that we don't let them. So whenever I see they have interest in doing something for themselves, I let them do it. EJ will wash dishes and there'll be soap all over the sink. I'm going to have to buy more soap. But if we do that for another year, he'll be able to do dishes. So I let him make that mess. So you just have to make them do it, make mistakes. It's going to be expensive for you. It's going to be frustrating for you because they'll waste a lot of things. But they do it for certain amounts of time and they know how to do it. And then you can relax and drink wine like I do on Friday night. So how'd you get them to be so respectful and cautious and all those things? The respect part, I think, first of all, they like their lives, so... But anyway, one important thing that we forget to do as parents is praying. I know people are probably tired of me when I talk about this. They pray a lot in this house. And talk about God. A lot. They pray a lot in this house. Like every child, it's not the parent. The parents don't pray. The children need the prayers. We'll pray. We'll pray. We'll talk about God, what God wants from us. It's not about what mom wants all the time. It's about God wouldn't like that. And if they know who God is and the power God has, because sometimes I'm driving them to school and we're praying and some people are like, playing out like, God can literally make us have an accident right now and all of us will die. He has the power to do that. And then everybody will be like, okay. They have to understand how powerful God is. So first of all, we pray and I talk to them about God. That's the foundation. And you always have to sit down. We hear all the time. And we don't take out the time to sit down with our kids and talk. Sometimes when I see like NESO, sometimes, NESO gets in her mood where she wants to just bite everybody. I notice her for some days and I sit her down. All right, NESO, what's going on? What's this frustration all about? And then she's going to open up and tell me one or few things that frustrate, and I try to help. So we always have to sit down with the kids and talk to them. And advise them. We have meetings sometimes, even with their dad. They don't like the meeting with their dad because it lasts a long time. But we have this meeting where we all sit and we just talk. So they learn from that. So just sit down with your child,
Yes.
talk to them. It's not just yelling. It's not about hitting them. It's not about the stick comes out and I hit it on the table and scares them a lot of times.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't actually hit them with it, but I scare them.
They are so afraid of
the
stick that never touches
my
them.
wooden stick. Yeah. You see what it does to the table. That sound it makes when I hit the table and they're like, whoa. Yeah. But I always sit down and talk to them. So that's very important.
Okay.
And one thing again is that kids are very active. And we parents, everybody, most of us are guilty of this. They come back from school, they sit in front of the TV, they watch TV and play and stay indoors all day long until the next morning. Kids have so much energy in them. And if they don't create a way for them to use up that energy, they're going to start destroying things in the house, messing up, being rude, just acting up. But that's because they want to play. They want to go outside. So a lot of moms that have sent me messages on Instagram, I always tell them, take your child outside. Take those children outside.
True.
They need to play.
True.
Yeah, they need to get sweaty. They need to get tired. And then they come back and their brains are more relaxed and everything.
True.
You can't keep them in front of the TV the whole time and I expect them to act normal. They're going to start acting out.
Yeah.
I learned. Don't think I just knew this from just reading.
Yeah.
It's from experience because Sienna used to be in front of the TV a lot. It was easier for me. Then I wouldn't have to stress out.
Yeah.
But then I noticed at some point something started happening and we started taking her outside. Yeah. And since then we've kept up. Even if it's raining, sometimes we go to the garage and just bounce balls.
True.
Because I need them out there. They do all kinds of sports, everything, basketball, gymnastics, everything. And it's heavenly. I mean, try it out if you're not trying it and you'll notice a big difference.
True. Okay, so finally, what one advice would you give to parents right now? Just look into the camera and give them the talk.
One advice. If I had to give you one advice. If I had to give you one advice. Let me see. There's so many.
That is not prayer.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because that's what I was going to say. I was going to say,
there is no
teach
prayer.
your child about God. If they fear God, they fear everything. Everything that comes with God, which is the world. So that is not prayer.
That is not prayer.
One thing.
Yeah.
Spend as much time as you can with your child. Well, we are busy parents. We let the helps in Nigeria and some other places in the world, even here, nannies, take care of our kids. Spend as much time because some things your child can tell you, they can't tell other people.
True.
You know the way to get information from them.
True.
That's how you know what's going on in their lives. Spend as much time as you can with them.
True.
That is the one advice I can give.
I agree. Let's give it up. Oh, super mommy of the year, all year round.
No.
Yep.
Thank you.
God, Choma is such an amazing mom.
Choma is such
I learned so much from her, seriously. And I actually go back to Nigeria and I try it on the kids that I see all the time, and it works like magic. I've learned how to be more patient with kids. Like sometimes. Like a while back, little things kids will do sometimes will frustrate me. But every time I come to Choma's house and I go, somehow those things that used to frustrate me, they don't frustrate me because really, why are you getting frustrated? There are so many other ways you could, handle that. And thank you for being so
There's something
amazing.
I didn't mention. Every child is not the same. A lot of parents who want child A to do the same thing child B is doing, to act the same way. They are different. And if you realize that your children are different, you have to treat them differently.
Yeah.
Some children, hitting that stick, spanking them will work. Some other child, you hit them and they're like, it gets worse.
True.
Some child, you talk to them quietly, it doesn't work. But when you yell, it actually works. So just know your child and know that what works for one child wouldn't work for the other child.
Yeah. And you don't need to compare.
You don't compare them. Sienna is great at math and I want NESO to be excellent too at math. She doesn't have to be like Sienna. Let her go at her own pace.
True.
Every child. Don't make your children feel like you're comparing them. Oh, imagine Sienna made all A's and you're getting all B's. No, we don't say things like that. Because that will make them feel bad. You can talk to them privately.
Yeah.
They're children. You can have private discussions with them. So just don't they're not the same. Every child is different.
Yes.
They have different challenges. They have different strengths. So let's just embrace that and treat them, just know how to handle them differently.
God. You guys, if you have any questions for Chioma, about parenting, just leave it in the comment section. She will be there answering all of it.
I'll be there.
That's
and please, if you have any advice for me, because I have my struggles too. You guys know Ziana was still struggling with that, competitive thing where she cries and she doesn't handle it well. So we're still working on that. I think for me that's the biggest challenge.
Well, she has actually improved.
She has improved. She has improved. We're working on it. We're working on it. Yeah, we'll sometimes intentionally play games and we'll let her lose and we laugh at her. Yeah, and I'm like, you have to learn how to deal with it.
True.
Yeah. So, but if you have any advice for me too, please, I'm still learning. Yeah. I'll keep learning. Yeah. So please let me know. Yeah. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. If you have any advice for me too, just ask me in the comment section.
Yeah. Ask all the questions you want.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. You're the best. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and slam that notification button. Bye bye. See you next time.